Do you, but make sure you do it well and you do it with your whole essence in it. That's what I think is missing in music, period. There's a lot of sound, but not a lot of soul.
You're right.
And that's goes with taking it serious. In the lane of hip hop that you two remind me of, though, you follow behind a pattern of great talents that, when given the opportunity, they strong-armed the game and made their lane pronounced. This may sound pressured, may not. I think the Lox are one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time, and y'all are cut from that cloth.
Oh, thanks.
And the reason why I say that is because when you break down the Lox, you have lyrical superiority, relatable topics, something for the street, something for people who just love music, and then you have a business lane that made them not only reinvent themselves and become even more of a legends in the game, they had staying power. What would it mean to you to not only come out, but to have the staying power to be not only in music, but to be official on other levels beyond just beats and rhymes?
Longevity is the key. I mean, of course, you want to be a household name, something that, you know, when to be mentioned in that category as the Lox, and be like, yo, oh, you heard of the Regime or the Lox, like, right. I mean, to be pulled up with them when things start rolling. Hell yeah, you know, we want to be that. Whether if we make multi-millions off of it or not, we want to be in that bracket to where we can consistently bring in bread. You know what I mean? Consistently be looked at as elite.
Word.
On my end, I can't appreciate walking the path if there are no footprints behind. So
that's deep.
To me, it's more of, I could never make $1 in music, but this is so therapeutic to me. This has gotten me, this is bigger. Like, you have a lot of people right now talking about mental health and things like that. You will never imagine how many people go through the same thing as you. So I want to leave an imprint. Like, for me, this is bigger than money. I would love to let my parents retire and move my family out of the hood and all the great stuff that everybody says, but for me, this gives me something to look forward to. It gives me hope and motivation in my times of need. So if I can do that for even one person, and that one person can do it for someone else, I've left my footprints behind.
Word. When they dig our bones up and they find a Regime CD, I want aliens from other civilizations to be like, oh, okay, they put that. Now a better understanding of what we did when we was here. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
The reason why I said the Lox once again is because there's honesty, but there's depth in your music. And me and Dot had a conversation months ago. We talked about the importance of emotional depth in music.
Right.
We share our love for Scarface music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And let's go, like I said to everybody out there, I'm not ignorantly calling people the Lox or nothing. I'm saying about how you remind me and how I see that potential in you. For one, you have a song that speaks about suicide.
Right.
We talked about that.
Right.
And
suicide letter.
That reminds me of each member of the Lox in some certain way. How I Love You by Sheek Louch. It reminds me of Dancing the Gentleman, Styles P. And it also reminds me of By Your Side by Jadakiss. And the reason why is because there's emotional depth and truth in the lyrics that they speak in them songs. Cliche, I don't have a whole catalog of you. I've just seen videos and heard you spit. You have a passionate aggression that's deadly in a general sense. Not general as everybody. I mean Army general sense. And I love that about you. I always said, E. Pache is a fucking lady who's a killer at the same time.
Appreciate it.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. I got to see it. And I got to hear it and got to feel it. I'm going to ask you things individually in other parts of the interview, but I want to ask you this collectively, more importantly. We talked about longevity, and we talked about impact. We talked about staying power. We talked about influence. But the main thing I want to ask about the Regime is, when it comes to how you produce, your skill, what makes you pick up the pen and outdo your last performance with the next record? When some people just want to come out and be heard, it seems like you try to beat yourself on every new release so that you're not only growing, but you're surprising the people that listen and hear you.
Just growing, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to constantly challenge myself We don't want to get stagnant in a sense. We don't want to be like, you know what I mean, all right, content, especially when it comes down to lyrical, like combat, like using metaphors and flipping different, you know what I'm saying, from different angles. We don't want to stay content. So you got to stay active with your pen game. So just wanting to grow.
I don't know. For me, I just feel like if you try too hard, it begins to look for us. So I'm a firm believer that when we go in the studio, we writing a song. To be honest, I don't even think about beating myself in the last song. I don't like to think too much at all, and that might sound a little crazy, but I like to just let, you know, I can't even say my pen because I don't really write. I put everything in my phone, so I like to say I let my fingers do the job. And basically whatever comes out at that point, I go back and I look and I say I'm just gonna trust, you know, I'm gonna trust my vision, trust what I feel, and put it on a track. And then I just go in the booth and I do it. I don't, you know, go back and revise it a bunch of times, anything like that. I just trust the process.
With the new understanding that New Jersey has so much power to give and to influence, what is your corner, or what is your element of Jersey that makes you who you are, makes your music so official?
Mine is this descriptive storytelling. Being able to paint a picture and actually have you visualize it while I'm going through it lyrically, you know, like I love that. I mean, that's what I get. That's my, you know what I'm saying, corner of the hip hop in Jersey. Also, I can attack and be aggressive, but when I really put down that story mode, you know, you can really actually see it play out from point A to point Z, you know what I mean?
For me, I think it was harder trying to figure out who I was as an MC because I started off a singer and I didn't know I could rap until other people thought I could rap. So once that happened, I learned from hearing other people speak of my flow and saying that my wordplay is a little crazy. But that's because when I did start rapping, everything came from poetry. And when I would say my poetry out to people, it would sound like rap. And so, yeah, like you said, a lot of metaphors and my wordplay and things like that is what I started to become noticed for.
Yeah, she's with her metaphors and her punchlines, they intact. You really gotta listen like, man, oh shit, let me rewind that. What did she say and how she put that together? She's dope like that, for real. I'm more direct, you know what I'm saying? I do have my metaphors and I will say some slick shit to you, but I'm more direct with it. You know what I mean?
He reminds me of Scarface. I'm glad you brought that up because for him to be a big Scarface fan, he has that same potential in him. His storytelling game is crazy. Something that if I were to sit in the studio and I were to say, me as E. Pache, all right, let me try to do this whole Scarface storytelling thing, that's when I would have to think hard because it's not really my lane. But for me to just sit here and be able to come with some 1-2 bang bang punchlines that's gonna make everybody go, oh, you know, that's nothing. But to do that, to me, that's where the pressure comes in, because that's a hell of a thing to be able to do.
That's what we do. We like when we hear a beat and we want to go we want to go her lane. It challenges me to jump into her lane. When I hear a beat and I want her in my lane, it challenges her. So, I mean, when we meet in the middle, it just sounds great.
Yeah.
But see, that's what makes a dynamic duo a dynamic duo. You see what I'm saying? like Ray and Ghost don't got the same style.
Right.
But they can kind of cross over, but you see who is the slangologist, who's the lyrical tyrant. You know what I'm saying? Not saying one better than the other. It's just they have different sides of the coin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even if I had to go old school like EPMD, one was vibe, one was lyric. So I mean, it's the natural progression of the same story. Chemistry. So what defines your chemistry and what makes it so powerful?
He's me if I was a guy. Sounds funny, but it's to a point now where like there are people who, if they don't know us personally, they'll go, is that really your brother? Like, you guys are starting to even look alike a little bit in your pictures. Like, it didn't happen on purpose, and I think that's what makes it so authentic, and I love it. The fact that I was, like, when I first met him, I tell people that all the time. I was like, okay, this dude is really weird. He said, what's up? And he doesn't say anything else because I met him through Chops. And then as time progressed, it got scary because the more we started to be around each other and hang around each other, I'm like, this dude is me. So we got closer and got tighter without even realizing it. And then I guess at one point you just step back and say, hey, motherfucker, like, I love you, like, a lot.
Yeah,
like, I love you a
That was
lot.
kind of
Like,
like
you're a
when
lot
I
like
first
me.
heard her spit. Like, it was like, damn, I love you. Like, she was like, her aggression was like the female version of me. Like, but with that female coolness about it, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh shit, where the fuck you know what I mean?
Everybody wants somebody in their corner with a, no tolerance for bullshit attitude. So it's like, even when we're out together, anything like that, we're the ones that we don't have to be on the scene. If you ever came to a show and you've seen us, we can even be with the rest of the streets for life. Everybody has their own character, so it's all love. You know what I mean? You got like chops in them. They play the crowd, they talk, they do that, sign, and third. 9 times out of 10, we're probably in a corner together or either by ourselves, and we're not saying much. We're just observing what's going on around us. We speak when spoken to, but when it's time to really get militant, we do what we gotta do.
That's because we both speak from observing. Like,
Right.
we take in our surroundings and everything around us, and you'll hear that in the lyrics. You'll hear something that might have happened at a show. It might be an insider, but you know what I mean.
That only we understand, but makes sense to us when we record it. Understand us.
Word, like
One of the biggest
one
things
of
where we
one of
spoke
our
to each
songs,
other.
one of our singles that we shot a video for.
Sorry.
Understand Us. It's a dope track. It's a testament of us. Like they really don't understand us. They want a one night stand us.